Hi everyone, it's Pedro Baez with Bob Fidanza today from Go for Glory Stable. Today is March 22nd, 2026. This is the update for the previous week. As usual, please like or subscribe to these videos on YouTube. It helps the channel to reach more potential harness racing owners. Um, I guess just jumping right into the kind of the past week at a high level. Bob and I, we were just talking about it. It was actually things are heating up. You know, we've been it's one of those things where you put the horses in the right spots, and then we've been the favorites a lot, and they haven't been getting it done, and sometimes that's a kiss of death, as Bob said, or I say it too. Um, um, but it's finally starting to. Yeah, I don't want to jinx anything, but we finally have started to kind of get those wins that's been eluding us for a while.
We've
Uh,
been knocking on the door and finally we got a couple to open. That's the
yes,
thing. We're always
yes.
ready.
And we got two of them were at Yonkers, which is kind of like the goal. We always want to win at Yonkers when we can. And one was at Monticello for Rosa. So but she won really great. So yeah, it's my wife said it's spring already. I didn't even, that's what shows you where my mind is. I didn't even know it's spring yet. So it apparently has been spring the last couple days. Um,
Right.
so it seems like once it turned to spring, things started to heat up, and that's how it works with us. Like we have our horses. Like during the winter, like this January, February, forget about the crazy bad weather and the closures and the cancellations, all that stuff. It's our horses. We kind of our one of our biggest advantages is racing kind of everywhere. Yonkers, Tioga, Saratoga, Monticello, Poconos, all that stuff. So when we don't have any options and it's only Meadowlands, kind of like how it was during the winter, it's just tough, and it's everybody has the same and it's in the same boat. So it's just you all saw how winter goes. We'll probably make some tweaks for next year, but I'm glad to be out of it and into spring. Uh, so that's so yeah, the things really good week, really past. It's not really weak. It's been a really good 3 weeks, I would say. The whole month of March has been really good. Um, we're getting horses back, so we're gonna talk about that later. But horses are coming back. Beaueastel, Invictus, you know, a lot. Some of the 3-year-olds are coming back pretty soon. Geologic, Adios My Lindy, Forwhomthebeltolls. We got some other horses. Gretzky still, Gretzky's still working his way back for April. So there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot. Things are going to heat up really fast. Uh, what else? Just talking about other stable news videos. We keep putting videos up on YouTube, so we got some more videos from Paul and Rob recently, so we'll get those up. And now it's actually getting really interesting with those. The 3-year-olds are like really going fast. They're like they're basically at qualifying speed. So we'll get to that. And then the 2-year-olds, so they're really motoring right now. I mean, they're going like 225. They're really motoring, so we're starting to kind of get an idea. We still don't know what they are, but we're at least getting a much better idea. Like, all right, they're actually able to get to this point, and they're not breaking a lot of stuff. So that's the horses in general. Um, the auction, we had the auction yesterday, so that was good to see a bunch of horses change hands. So that anybody involved in the auction, you'll see that in your March statement. Um, so we'll get that taken care of and finalized and kind of get the website cleaned up on our side because right now it has all this auction stuff in there. So, but that was good. So that was done. That was done yesterday. So it was good. Congratulations to the people, the sellers and the buyers, for picking up some horses, or selling them. Um, Trot Talk with Paul Kelley. We'll get back to you. We still might do it tomorrow. So we haven't even sent an email on it. So be aware. We might send an email on it later today. We might do it tomorrow. Monday, the 23rd March. So at like 6 o'clock, 6:15 p.m. I know it's late. We're giving you late notice, but wasn't sure if we were going to do it or not. So Charlie was a little under the weather, so we weren't kind of thinking whether we need to move it. But that's still in the works. It might be tomorrow. We'll send an email if we're later if we're going to do it. And then just staking in general. So just a reminder again, March is actually the heaviest staking month for the babies because we got to do the 3-year-old payments as well, stakes payments as well to make them eligible for 3-year-old races. So you won't see that until next month when we do the April statements, but just kind of I mean, it's nothing we can really do about it. It's part of the game, but just be aware. Like if you see larger stakes payments than usual on your babies for March, that's to be expected. That's to be expected, and that's March is usually the biggest month. All right. With that being said, let's jump into. We're not going to do a topic of the week this week. Even though Bob's on, just for the sake of time, we started a little late this morning, so we want to get this video for everyone to watch. Um, but next week we'll probably do with Charlie, and if Bob's available, we'll probably do. We want to go through staking, so we'll talk about staking. We'll talk about stakes racing. So. Um, the points, like New York Sire Stakes, Excelsior, there's a point system. So we're gonna go through and we'll kind of talk about how that works and how we think about stakes racing. It's a lot of fun. It's very different than overnight. Um, so we'll do that. We'll try and look to do that next week. We're still looking at new horses. So new horses are constantly being looked at and potentially coming in. There's um, so either buying locally in the U.S. or Canada, or even buying from shipping in from Australia, New Zealand. We're looking at everything. So um, that's still in the works in the background, and I guess that's pretty much it. So with that being said, Bob, I'll start with the Paul Kelley update. Same thing like we've been doing, because just kind of lumping a lot of his horses together because the babies are all pretty much the same updates for him. Um, so let's do the. I will do the Paul Kelley update right now. So everything's going well. So he on Tuesday, the 17th, March 17th, harness. So this is a Paul Kelley update. Harness racing update actually came in, and Heather Wilder and down to Sunshine Meadows, and they interviewed Paul Kelley, Linda Toscano, and Lindy Farms, Domenico Ciccieri down there. And Paul said it went really well. It's a little colder than usual, but Paul said the video isn't out yet. He doesn't think it's out yet, but he says when you see it, he thinks we're all gonna like it because they actually got some pretty cool footage of like the babies training and stuff like that, and Paul talking about them, and so that keep we'll probably forward it to the group when that comes out. But if you're not subscribed to Harness Racing Update, you probably should. It's a good thing to know about what's going on in the industry. And twos and training is what it is. Paul Kelley, twos and training. He will be there talking about our babies. Um, so that's one thing. So that was last week on Tuesday. Um, the babies hasn't been any faster than last week. Remember last week they went pretty quickly. Like I think some of them went 220 and 225. This week they all did the same thing pretty much. He said the track wasn't very good, so they were like basically going 3 or 4 wide the whole time and like 230, which if you put them on the inside, it's like 220 or so. So it probably was the same as last week, but it's just the track wasn't very good, so they were kind of in the middle of the track when they're training. But all went well. So all the babies um, went well. They're probably like 230 last week, and which is we're well ahead of schedule, so that's fine. Um, so that's the babies for Paul. I'm just trying to think of anything else. Yeah, nothing else to note specifically with any of the babies in particular. Um, Now we're getting to Paul's 3-year-olds. So Geologic, Geologic was a monster last week, which we already know he's our best horse in the barn. So he went in 159 and one yesterday. So which is really good on that deep track over there in Sunshine Meadows. So 159 and one yesterday. Back half 57-3, 28 last quarter. Paul said really good. He did it easy. So yeah, he's just tearing it up. So Geologic is doing great. Um, Second chapter, he didn't train in a race bike, so he trained in like a short jog cart, and so he had that treatment last week. Cortisone shots on his hock, uh, lower joint on the right hock, and Paul just didn't see the improvement that he was hoping to see with him. So he's just not trotting as square as he wants it, as he looks for the trotters to go. So Paul's just still working with him. He's gonna get a vet to come in just to kind of really check him out all the way. He thinks it also could be like EPM, which EPM is like a condition with certain horses where they sometimes they're not, just like with second chapter where they're just, it can be like a really bad condition with horses, but sometimes it just impacts them where they're not trotting or pacing correctly, and they might be like a little sideways or a little lagging one way or the other. So um, Paul's going to give him some pretty heavy EPM treatment, medicine. Um, with the after the vet's going to look at the horse too and see if there's anything else that they might think he might need. So we'll see. That's going to be this week. So he's going to get a lot of EPM medicine and hopefully, and Paul's going to hope that kind of you know triggers him a little bit improvement. He said attitude wise, he has a great attitude. Physically, he's powerful, he's strong. He wants to do it. It's just there's something physical that's like kind of like holding him back a little bit right now. So that's the story with him. He's gonna get some, like I said, he's gonna hit. Paul says he's gonna hit him. He says he's gonna get him a lot of EPM medicine, and then like I said, the vet's gonna take a look at him and just kind of get him to be a little bit more square again. Second chapter, he was doing great on the straightaway, like just shooting this. We've been doing the straightaways all winter, and he's been doing fine on that. It's when he got to the mile track and he started and going faster is when Paul started to notice it. So and Wally saw it too. So they're just working on him right now, and we'll kind of just take that week by week and see how it goes. But he's gonna get treatment for that, and then we'll kind of see where he's at next week. Adios, my Lindy. Adios, my Lindy. She went in 2 minutes flat, so she was really good. She made a break originally the first time she went out, but then the second time Wally took her back, started her over again. She didn't make a break, and then Wally said she was really good. He said she was really good. The break was probably due to some equipment changes that Paul's going to make. But uh, but she was 2 minutes flat. Geologic went at 59-1. She went 2 minutes flat. Um, excellent, excellent. So Adios, my Lindy was doing really well. And that's it for Paul. So that's the Paul update, and we'll see. Like I said, if we do a trot talk tomorrow, if we do it, it'll be around 6:15 Eastern time PM. Um, so that is a Paul Kelley update. Bob, I don't know if anything you want to add or anything I'm missing, Bob. Or
No, I think we're good.
all right. So let's proceed to the. I'm just pulling up my notes with Rob Harmon horses. So starting from the top with Rob Harmon, um, Beaueastel, he's doing well. He will be in the box tomorrow, the 23rd, Monday, for Saturday at Poconos. So Rob just wants to. He qualified really well. He qualified really well over there, really well. And Rob just wants to see him at Poconos. The horse the horse just likes 5/8 tracks. It's just kind of how it's also where he's raced majority of his life. We're not saying he can't do a half mile. Just want to, and can't not saying he can't do a mile either, but just want to see kind of how he goes over there at Poconos. He seemed to like it a lot with Tyler in the qualifiers. Hopefully we get Tyler Buter again, and that's the story with him. He will be in Poconos on Saturday to make his return to the races. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think those second qualifiers were a really good idea because both horses seemed to come around this time. That, if we just ran on the one qualifier, they wouldn't have been ready, for this week. So I think with a little patience is going to pay off having that second qualifier under their belt.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Um, and not all trainers do that. Some trainers they go in and they just go crazy right out the bat in the first qualifier. But you know, Paul and Rob, they're more of like a two qualifier types. That's just how even Paul, when you see Geologic and Adios and the babies, he's not going to do one
Right.
qualifier in race. It's going to be
Right.
at least two qualifiers. Um, and even though I'm just telling you all, the first qualifier for Paul is similar to Rob. So meaning the first qualifier, don't expect anything. Meaning expect them to go onto the rail and just sit in the rail and follow along and just kind of finish with them. It's usually the second qualifier that they actually put a little effort. Um, getting off the gate and making some moves. So, but yeah, he qualified excellent. I mean, he went 56-2, um, easy with John Kelley driving. Not Matt Kelley, John Kelley's dad. Uh, so that's Boistel. Beetlejuice. He he trained this week in he trained really fast. So he went in 2:26. He went in 2:26 this week, which is really fast on a half mile. Um, and Rob said he's doing everything well. Rob said he's kind of like not in a bad way, but he's more like he's kind of like a hot horse, kind of like Gretzky. I'm not as hot as Gretzky. Gretzky was like extreme hot, but more of a hot horse that kind of wants to go forward. Soho Skyfall kind of gets in that category. I'm trying to think of any other horses that's like kind of like they wanna go all the time. Um, but yeah, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not like a too hot where it's like, oh, we can't control him. It's just like he wants to go. He wants to, which is a good thing. You don't have to really push him. He really wants to go fast. Um, so yeah, he's doing well. He went in like what did I say, 2:26. I think I said 2:20, 2:26, and yeah, he's moving right along. So, um, he's got a lot of um, each of our babies are different. They all have different gaits and styles that they trot. So Beetlejuice is more of like he has more kind of, they call it like action. He has more action in the front where he lifts his knees up front. When he trots, almost like a show horse. Not saying he's a show horse, but just kind of like a fancy trotter almost does. They lift it up really high, but not saying he does it like that. But um, and it's just how he is. So Rob's going to make some changes. Just try to limit a lot of that movement up front. Um, maybe so he doesn't go so high, lift so high up. So maybe change around the shoes and such. But overall, he's doing great. And like I said, 2:26, excellent, especially on the half. Um, and even if he doesn't change anything with how he trots, he has a very good attitude and wants to go and gets around those turns really good. But we haven't been able to get some video of him recently, so we just want to get some and put some up. We got some of Solar Queen and Seven Seagrams. Uh, all right, next horse, Enola. So we can do the Enola replay, and that was a this was a fun race.
Impressive mile.
All right, I'll leave it up. Should be up in a second. All right, Bob, you want to do this one?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yep. So we got a couple levers in here, and they're gonna do some battle early. And when the dust settles here, was looking to be in a good spot, and we'll see what happens around that first turn. Okay, we're looking. Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to stay in the pocket here, but I guess Jimmy has a different idea that he's got a ton of horse and he ain't going to sit behind this horse. So he's going to quarter move here and take over the lead. And once he gets clear here, it's kind of history. He's gonna cruise here. That's powerful looking move. He got the lead pretty easily there. Just went right around that horse. Takes him into the stretch the first time, looking quite comfortable, like he can go around the track all night. So he hit the half, and it looks like he's rating him pretty good. And you think he's gonna have horse. He's got a pocket sitter. He's got to worry a little bit about, but he's not taking any pressure, and he's able to control the pace pretty nicely here, and save some horse for the stretch. Here comes the first move on the outside, but it's not gonna influence him much. He's got his mind set on this. He's got horse. He's got plenty of time here, and around this, when he reaches 3/4 here, I think is where the plugs come out, and Enola just kind of is, okay, bye bye guys, we're out of here. Right now, their plugs are out. You could see them on dangling there on that last turn, and she leads him into the stretch, and it's about over right now. They had to try and catch her. And she's going to continue to pull away a little bit here, get some distance, and looks like he's home free. He's calling a winner pretty early on this one. She did a great job. Looked really good. Gate to wire.
Absolutely. So yeah, so congratulations to all the Enola owners. That was a very big win. Um, she's been just snake bitten. I mean, she got a bad post again, so she's back in next week
Yeah.
on Thursday in the Philly and Mare Invitational trot at Yonkers. 7 posts. It's like it's like a feast or famine with her. I mean, it's like nothing but bad posts or a sprinkle of some good posts here and there. I mean, the good thing is she's taking advantage. Whenever she draws inside, she is taking advantage. It's
Yeah.
like but yeah, she's doing really well. So great. So good job for all the Enola owners. She's a fun horse. She shows up every time. All right. So for whom the bell tolls. So from the bell tolls, she's doing well training for Rob. She's been in 214 and she's pretty close. So she's Rob says she's about 2 weeks away. Um so she's moving along fine. She's about 2 weeks away from qualifying, and uh, we'll just kind of keep seeing how things go. So she's a beautiful, taller, like a taller side Huntsville, um, but powerful. So we'll have some fun with her this year. All right, next horse is Gretzky the Great, and he's still just training down. He's been in like 235 or so, so he's still on track to qualify at some point in April. Um, don't know exactly when in April, if it's going to be like the beginning or middle towards the end. We don't know when, but obviously hoping it can be more in the beginning to the middle of April. But he's coming back from an injury, so you don't ever want to really like you don't want to waste all this time we're spending to bring him back, and then all of a sudden you bring him back too soon. So the goal right now is just keep training him on the track. He's training twice a week. He's doing it. He's doing it well, according to Rob. And even the injury seems like it's past him. He's just kind of getting used to getting in shape, and we're just gonna keep training him down for the next, 3-4 weeks or so, or however long Rob thinks it takes. But he's thinking at some point in April he should qualify and be ready to roll again. So, but he's doing well. Uh, Invictus. Same thing, Bob, like Beaueastel. He qualified, second qualifier this week. We could show it, but we're just for the sake of time, I'm not going to show it. It was actually a really good qualifier, 52 and 4, 56 back half, never asked, and it was excellent. It was excellent. So it was actually better than I wasn't sure what to expect, and it was actually a lot better than I expected. Oh wait, Beaueastel had Tyler Buter. Invictus had John Kelley, I think. Um, and Invictus doing great. So he's in the box Tuesday for Meadowlands on Saturday. So he's gonna go to Meadowlands on Saturday. Um, where he kind of fits some pretty good spots there right now, and just gonna see he looks the way he qualified. I mean, you can't really ask for anything better than that. Um, so that's Invictus. So he's ready to roll. Just Rose's luck. She raced this week as well, and she was, I believe, the winner. Yeah, she
Yep.
was.
Yep.
Put this on.
Yeah, she's one of those horses that we were talking about that have been knocking on the door for several weeks. And she comes up here in a good spot, but and you get an off track, so you're starting to worry about that. Saying she's going to get another excuse mile because of the off track here, but not this time. She's going to get it done pretty handily here. Again, a good start off the gate is always helpful, especially on these half-mile tracks. You don't want to be too far off the pace, and she gets out there and takes control. Okay, and I like to see a 32 to 1 shot in the pocket and a 33 to 1 shot first over. That usually usually puts you in a pretty good spot. And Merton's gonna take his time here. Raider let these guys try and wear her down, but it ain't going to happen. She's going to control the pace of this race pretty nicely here. 33 to 1 shots hanging in pretty good so far. But again, I'm happy to see her hanging out there and clogging up the outer flow as he hits the half. A good rating there. It looks like almost a 32nd second quarter. Got plenty of horse here, and he's got good tempo here. He's keeping this pretty smooth along, not really influenced much by the off track, going smooth and easy. Now I think at 3/4, he's going to just hit the gas a little and put some distance between them. And I think at that point, this race is going to be about over. You see the 6 quitting for sure. Had a tough first over journey at 33 to 1. And now the pocket sitter ain't exactly in a tight pocket anymore. He ain't keeping up as he begins to ask for a little more and get some distance on the field here. She's going to cruise home really uncontested here. A really solid performance, making up for a lot of bad breaks that she had and excuse miles. And this is just looks like a great, fully confident drive and a great mile for her. Nice job.
Yes, so just like Enola owners, great job. Congrats to all the Rosa owners. She's like Bob said, she's had a rough last 3 months. She we brought her to Meadowlands. Actually, a bunch of us were actually there at the Meadowlands where she had the 2 posts, and she was like probably the favorite. And then she was like really tied up, and then we scratched her. Then we didn't race her for a whole month, so we lost a whole month with her. And then she had those races at Yonkers where she was 50 to 1 and either bad post or crazy fast race. It was just a lot bad posts. And then when we had her as a favorite, she was getting beat. So it was just kind of a lot of things going on with Rosa, but it looks like she's finally the past, I don't know, 3 races or so. She's finally just, it's like a form spree. I call it like a little. She's on a little form spree right now. Um, and even the race she got beat, like that's why I was trying to tell guys, like not this race. This race was pretty obvious. She was pretty dominant. The race before that, where she was beat by the 54 to 1 shot, whatever that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to tell everybody don't get too hung up on that. She did a really, really strong mile. Where that horse came from, I have no one knows where that horse came from. That horse came back to earth the following week. That was like a 4 second drop in 1 week. So it happens. You gotta, I know we always say this, that they're not machines, and this is not like a computer, it's not like a computer game where it's like, oh, we're the odds on favorite. We will win. There's a lot of factors that could impact things. So just keep that in mind that when you have a horse racing, yeah, it's fun when you have a 1 to 9 shot, but that's why
No sure things in harness racing.
no
That's
sure things ever. So just hang with it. The key is that the horse is racing well, and she is in the Monticello Open next week on, I think tomorrow actually, Monday afternoon. It's a tough spot, but we just wanted to see. She's been doing so well over there with Mike Merton that we just want to see, like, all right, can she step up to this level now? And the Monticello Open is not Yonkers Open, Saratoga Poconos Open, but the horses aren't bad either. Like the horses they're actually some decent horses in there. So let's just see how it goes. And the good thing is they handicap it, so the really good horses are on the outside with 7 and 8 posts. So they're gonna have to work hard if they want to get to the front, especially if we're leaving too, which I would think we're gonna be leaving. Um, so anyway, that's Rosa. So she's doing well, and she's finally moving along and getting some nice checks again. So that's the key. We just want her to pay her way while she's kind of rolling again, and then eventually we'll find some decent like claiming spots for her. So that's the story with Rosa. She's doing fine. Uh, Memento Mori, we can do his race next real quick. He made his debut for us on Thursday. Very interesting name. Uh, okay. So this one, Bob, I could do this one just to
Okay.
kind of show everyone just the way I look at things here is, just which is a little unique. A horse making a debut at Yonkers in the 40 claimers that we just brought in from Ohio. So he's the 5 horse right here with a little fuzzy, but oh, there he is. He's the 5 horse here with Tyler Buter, and he didn't get off the gate. But Rob Harmon before the race, he just told Tyler just, hey, you know, have an open mind. Even though he's a big price, and he's coming in from Ohio in his first race in Yonkers. Just have an open mind. He's actually a pretty good horse. So Tyler did that, and you see how he gets off the gate, and you see how right away he's on the helmet of the 3, and he stays on the helmet of the 3. That 6, that 6 was trying the whole entire race to drop in front of Memento Mori, and I was praying that we did not, because this it's much better to be sitting fifth than sixth at Yonkers. So, and it was a bomb too, the 6. So he was just the fact that he was able to defend his post position and hold off that 6 from dropping in front of him was huge. That was huge. And you see here around these turns, it's just he's really good. He's really good around those turns. He flies right around those turns. Um, he's right behind that 3, and these are good horses. So this race was we were trying to find a good spot for him. We actually thought this race might be okay, and this race was the fastest race of the night. This race went a full second faster than the Philly Mare Open Trot. So it's just how this claiming class is. I mean, these are $40,000 horses. So there he is, right behind the 3. He's right on the helmet, pretty much. Same thing. He's still not gapping. He's not letting that 6 find a hole. He's he's staying right on the 3, not letting the 6 go in. And they went 58 in one first half, which is pretty decent clip. And right here, Memento Mori, he has all the option in the world to pack it in. There's you don't really know what to expect the first race. So there he is, but he's not packing it at all. He's motoring right around that last turn. Um, and that 7, I was like wondering, I was like, oh, please don't let this 7 come beat us for fifth. And even right here, the key right here is look at this. Tyler's actually trying to go outside because he's actually gaining. You see that? He actually gains on the horse right in front of him. So that was an excellent race. And the key to keep in mind is don't get hung up so much in that he came in fifth, because as you can tell, we didn't even get off the gate, so it's not like we were blasting to the lead trying to win that race. That a horse that won that race had 2 claims on it, and he was an excellent horse. That Chaphart horse, we probably should have claimed it ourselves, but yeah, look at these lines. I mean, he did a 59 and 2 first half, 57 and 4 back half, and 57 and 1 mile. So that 57 and 1 mile that he was chartered at, and even the 57 and 4 back half, those were some of the best miles of the night, especially that back half. The back half was tied for the most of the night. Those one horse that had a bigger back half, but I don't really trust the numbers because he was like behind by like 11 lengths in the beginning supposedly. So I don't really when the horse, just so you all know, when the horse is like either loses by like 9-10 lengths or even more, I don't really trust those because I don't. It's hard to count 10 lengths. I don't know. Me, I can't count 10 lengths out. So I can count a couple lengths, but um, anyway, so the point is Memento Mori was really good. Like I said, 57 and 1 mile. He went faster than his individual mile was faster than the Philly and Mare Open Trot that went for 35,000. It would have his mile itself would have been third in the other 40 claimer. His back half was tied for the best with other horses that night. And this is a horse that hasn't raced in 3+ weeks, and Rob is still working with him. And we got him for 26,000. So, and he's racing with a 50,000 tag and actually competing. So, good job, all the Memento Mori owners jumping in on him. He actually looks like he might be okay. And Tyler Buter was very happy with him. He said he was excellent. We just got to we're going to put a head pull on the inside just to help him around the turns a little bit. He kind of turns his head. He turns his head and kind of runs in on the turns. He still gets around those turns really well. He just kind of runs in a little bit. So we're going to put a head pull to kind of straighten him out around those turns. And then Rob's going to keep working on his shoeing just to kind of help his gait be a little bit more fluid around the track. And he will be in for Friday next week, in the box tomorrow for Friday next week in the Yonkers, now we're 7,500. Tyler Buter said he's definitely a Yonkers horse, so he said bring him right back, and hopefully we get Tyler again to drive him. So that's Memento Mori. Um, and he looks like he's a good horse. He's only 4 years old too. Um, all right, Mine Hunter. He did not race this week. He raced last week. He's in to go tomorrow at Yonkers Raceway. He has the 8th post, so I'm just hoping for a check. If we can get a 4th or 5th place check, we to me that's a win. We live to fight another day. So and then we hope for a better post next time. But he's doing well. He's coming along, and the extra training that Rob is doing on the track instead of only the swimming seems to really be helping him. So that's my hunter, and then uh, Seven Seagrams. Same Seven Seagrams has been. She went in to her and Solar Queen, but I'll get Solar Queen next. Seven Seagrams went in 233. So she's been in 233, and we got some video of her up on. We'll put some video up her on YouTube if we don't have it up already. And she's doing everything well and doing it right and doing it easy. She got a beautiful way that she goes around that she gets around the track. So that's Seven Seagram. She's doing fine. 233. Ship's Revenge. So Ship's Revenge. She is. We checked her for breeding, for being in heat this past week, and it looked like she was showing signs of it, but then when that cold front came, like that really cold front we just had last weekend, it's like it kind of snapped her out of it again. So basically the when they feel like spring is coming, that's when they start going in heat, the female horses. And so when the cold came right back like that, it kind of threw her off. So we're gonna just wait a week or two and then see if she comes back. If she's showing signs of being in heat again. So the vet will go back up and check her either next week or the week after. And hopefully she's showing that she's in heat, and then we can start the breeding process. So that's Chip's Revenge. She's doing fine. We just gotta, this is nature. It's not racing a horse. This is nature, like agriculture. We're just waiting for her to show signs of being ready for breeding. Uh, so she's doing fine. So that's Chip's Revenge. Soho Skyfall. He raced this week, so we can do him. He was a one horse.
Yeah, he's been kind of like Gross's luck. He's had some bad draws. He's had some unfortunate luck on the racetrack, and we thought this one might be it. He seemed to be rounding into form. He drew the rail for this week, but he did well, but he just didn't get the job done and ended up second in this. But he's coming. He's showing the signs every week, and hopefully, just like Rosa did, he's going to get it right very soon and get us a picture. So he gets away nicely here and picks up the pocket ride for a little bit here. He's the odds-on favorite, so we're thinking he's gonna love this pocket and he's gonna get it done. The pace seems good, even though the leader's not taking a lot of pressure yet, and Mike has him well situated there, and looks like he's on the helmet. He's not gapping or anything. You got to feel pretty good about it at this point. As long as this guy doesn't get to steal the middle half, now you're thinking, where else would you rather be? Sitting in that pocket behind him. So here we come up to the half. He did 29-1 the first quarter. What are we going to get the half in? I've forgotten now. 59-2. So he is getting a little bit of a breather there. So he's gonna have some horse left. But again, we're 3-5 favorite. You thinking that's not a bad place to be. Could have used a little more pressure from the outside. Here comes somebody now, but I don't think it's affecting him much. Again, he's right on the helmet there. You got to think this is gonna be his week.
Mm-hmm.
But as we now know, it looks like it's not going to happen. He's sitting there. Looks like he's coming out a little bit now. I would have thought at this point we got a winner on our hands here, but this guy had plenty left. He had plenty left. He got a pretty soft middle half there, and we just couldn't get to him. So again, it's a good mile. He's each week he's been doing better and better. I would have hoped that was the one, but Rosas took an extra one to get us that win too. So maybe he's right behind her in that development program.
Yeah, I look at it the same way. That race was a weird race. 3 to 5 shot, you would normally think we'll be on the lead, but we didn't. It was a really cold day, so we just
Right.
talked about it with Ship's Revenge. That that Tuesday was really, really cold. It was freezing windy. It was really windy out, really cold. So we didn't want him on the lead just because he just hasn't been good when it's been like really cold. I don't know what it is, but so we wanted him off the pace. At the same time, Bob, like you were saying, we were hoping there'd be a little bit more pressure on the leader.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a qualifier mile. It was like it was almost like a qualifier. It was like those two horses were in the front going slow
Yeah.
29, 30 quarters, and then just it was like literally just a sprint in the
Yeah.
last 16th, last eighth of a mile. Um, so and then obviously the horse that sprinted away from us, he's not a terrible horse, so
No.
he's expected to have some type of sprinting capability in the last eighth, especially when he just did a stroll around the park, you know. So,
Yeah.
so, so yeah,
And he was 7-2. He wasn't a dog or anything, and
no,
he
no,
belonged there.
he's look, anybody who's been owning racehorses for a long time, any horse can get beat if you're just sprinting. Like if you're just a slow mile the whole way and you're only sprinting the last 16th, the last eighth, any horse can get beat. It's just whoever wants to show up and out sprint everyone that day. Whereas if you do a strong mile, strong fractions all the way throughout, then you're gonna weed out a lot of the horses that don't have the stamina to compete. The overall power. But if it's just a sprint in the last eighth, last 16th, doesn't matter. You can get beat by anyone. So yeah, he didn't. It looks like what happened was, and even Charlie would have been good because Charlie warmed him up that day. And it seems like once he took him out, once he was on the back the whole time. Remember, it was you can't tell from the video, but it was freezing cold and windy. He was on the back. He was on the helmet the whole time. And it seems like once he tipped out into the air, he
Yeah.
just like hit a
He
wall.
felt that wind.
Yeah, yeah. So and Charlie said the same thing. Charlie said when he was warming him up, he was like he's warming up fine, and all of a sudden the wind gust comes and he like goes back. He stops. So let's see. Hopefully he kind of grows out of it, and or at least the weather changes. He's in to go Tuesday at Monticello. He had to go one level up, and he has a 7 post, but he still might be okay in there. Like I don't know. I don't know if we'll. Yeah, I'm not saying we're gonna win or anything, but because 7 posts is always brutal and a half, but he still might be okay. The key with him, like you were saying, Bob, we got it. We just want to get. If he fits low, we're gonna take advantage and take the purse money and pay the bills while he's still figuring things out. You know, and then the plan is hopefully he starts figuring things out and kind of getting into a rhythm, and we start seeing the same horse from last year. And
Right.
then yes, then we'll have more options. For Poconos, Yonkers, Plain Ridge, things like that. Um, but we don't want to go to Yonkers and put him in. You don't want to go to Yonkers, put him in a 30, 40 claimer, and he's 100 to 1 and he has no chance. And it's a waste of time. So we just got to work with him. He looks like he is rounding back into form, and he actually was given, you know, some people aren't crazy about Trackmaster ratings, but I actually think it is a helpful thing. Um, you can't live off. It's not like everything, but it is a helpful tool. He got a really good rating for that race, meaning even though it didn't look like nothing happened, it didn't look like anything happened. It looked kind of boring race. He actually raced really strong compared to every other horse racing at Monticello on that day. Uh, so it was just a really cold day. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. He is in racing on Tuesday, and we just gotta keep. He just needs to keep rolling until he gets in rhythm again and finds his form. He's not totally out of form. He's not like I don't want to say he's not bad or anything. He's not awful. He
It's
he's
just
just yeah, he's just like right. He's like a level right below where he should
he,
be.
he hasn't
Yeah,
peaked yet.
yeah. He's not bad. He's just not. We know what he is. He's just not there yet. But he's not bad either. That's why it's like just don't panic. He's still rolling. He's healthy. He's sound. We just gotta. he just needs to kind of like get in rhythm, and hopefully he just one day he just kind of wakes up like, oh, that's him, he's back, you know, and then we'll kind of go from there. Um, so that's Soho Skyfall, and last up is Solar Queen. She went in 233, also like seven Seagrams, and she's doing fine. She's doing she's doing really well. Rob had just giving you an update on her. Rob had he had ear hoods on her, just to kind of help her calm her down a little bit. He had it on her actually for the last month. Um, basically, in the past, if she ever got like a big gust of wind or something, or saw another horse kind of come up behind her really quickly that was training, she might she might throw in a few steps or kind of get a little startled. So she had the ear hood on the past month, and it helped calm her down a lot. So she's been fine. And so Rob, he actually took off the ear hoods recently, and she's actually been she responded pretty good. So she's been doing fine. Um, her gait is interesting. Like I said, Seven Seagram's gait is like a more elegant, uh, easy looking. It's kind of like a gait you really want to see for trotters. But Beetlejuice is more of a he has a lot of action up front. He lifts his knees up front when he's trotting. So he looks like a trotter. Like when he trots, you're like, oh wow, he's definitely like he looks like a prototypical trotter, I guess you could say. He lifts his front legs up um, a lot, not too much, but more than other horses. Solar Queen's kind of like in the middle. She's kind of like she's not as elegant as Seven Seagrams, but she's not as high up as Beetlejuice. Every horse's trot, they have different gaits, just how they are. Not saying anything's worse than the other. It's just how she is. But she's doing fine. She's doing great. So she's moving along. She's actually taking some big jumps. She's taken some big leaps since January. Um, and she's doing well. So she's right there with Seven Seagrams and Beetlejuice. They're all three babies are doing well. Rob says there's nothing really negative uh, to say about any of them. So they're all moving along. So all right. With that being said, Bob, I got nothing else unless you have anything.
No, I think we're good.
All right, everyone, have a good week. Good luck with your horses, and we will keep you posted on Trot Talk for tomorrow. Just and take care. Have a good day. Thank you.